Hi, friend. Welcome into Sunny Miles Studio. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to work on this card, and it could be a Valentine or just a thinking of you or love you type of card. And I have one here that I've sketched out if you want to take a screenshot. Sometimes it's helpful to have that later on when you're making it. And then I have a blank one here. I can show you how I sketch it out. I usually start in the upper left-hand corner, drawing that yarn ball. And I just start with a rounded square, add a heart, add the two sides of the yarn ball, and then I put in little yarn strings here. Do you like to knit? My mom is an avid knitter. She takes her knitting wherever she goes. I can remember as a small child just hearing her knitting needles clickety-clack along the way. And then I'm going to write the word love over here. I kind of make the heart shape first for that O and then put in the lines. Something like that. Then you'll need a heart cookie down here. And a little mug with some hot chocolate or coffee or tea. And I'm going to draw some hearts on it. One tip is to draw an odd number of hearts, however many you use. It's just more pleasing to the eye. And then on mine I used a hearts and hugs stamp, but I know not everybody has stamps, so you can just handwrite in a message, either Happy Valentine's Day or love you or hugs. I'll just write in love you on this one. There. Now we'll get to the painting. So I'm just using my the size 0 small paintbrush and my Kuretake paints. And I'm going to start with the gray. If you don't have gray, you can mix black and white together. And I'm just going to go in on these yarn ball sections. Fill those in. And then carry the gray over to the letters here. I like to work at the top down when I'm painting, that way I don't smear it with my hand, and from left to right. But if you're a lefty, you probably want to do it the opposite way. And then I'll add some red to that little heart. Oops. And I'll put some red over on this letter O. Something like this. And then for the heart, I like to do the brown part first and let it dry and then go back in with the red. And to get that's brown that kind of looks like a cookie, I like to use just plain old brown and then a yellow ochre, which is this type of color. Mix those two together until you get the shade that you like. It's a little too brown. I add a little bit more yellow. There, that's about good. And then just go around the edge of that. I'm going to let that dry and come back with the red. And then I'm going to go back to that gray. And I'm going to avoid painting on the heart part. Alright, this looks about dry over here. go back with that red. I think I need to wash out my palette here. I don't have much room for mixing. And then you just kind of fill that in. And then I'm going to add a little bit of brown there to the hot drink. All right. That about does it for the painting part. And if you want, you can add some more touches. You could leave it as is, or you could add a border. You can use several different options, but a lot of times I use this Pigma Micron pen. You've seen me use that before. That's black. I have this other one that's gray. It's a Copic multiliner, and that's in a size 0.05. I guess I'm going to use that one, and I'm just going to add a border. I just start kind of even with the sentiment and go over to the edge. I kind of go as straight as I can, but it's handmade, so it might be a little wonky here and there. And I'll go over the sentiment too. And, oh, we need to add the steam. I just use these little curlicues. And the last part is putting the dots on the heart. And the paint actually looks a little wet still, so I'll show you on a different one. But I like to use these Molotow pens or acrylic paint pen, and I like to use the 1mm size. It's kind of a finer tip, and I always like to remind myself to get it started first, because sometimes the first go at it is a big blob and it ruins your whole thing that you were working on. So once you get it started, this one's, yeah, it's still wet. Don't go in with this if it's still wet, because it'll smear. And just add your polka dots to the heart. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again soon.